Last night we laid it out. Tonight we're going to cut it out. This is the scarf joint for the top plates upstairs. For those of you who missed yesterday's video. Nothing real fancy here, guys. This joint is a really simple, straight up, easy joint. It's not going to be real hard to cut. It's not real technical. So shouldn't be too bad. So let's see what happens. Alright, so I like to, when I'm working on a timber, I like to cut everything I can from one side before I roll the timber over. Just, it's a little easier on your body that way, but you also miss less when you do that. So we're going to cut out the top portion of this, or at least the cuts perpendicular to the grain, and we're going to go from there. Now when I'm cutting with the handsaw, I'm really not putting much pressure on here. I'm just letting the saw do the work. I see guys that fight it and then they end up bending the blade all over the place. If the saw's good and sharp, just let it float in there. Don't kill yourself. I mean, easy movements. And remember, guys, leave a little bit of your line. That way you could pare down to it and you get a little more accuracy that way. I had to shut one of the lights down so you guys could see what we have, but there is our different type of scarf joint. I really need to look the name of that up. There we go. So you got an open mortise on that end, and you've got a tenon on this end. And what's going to happen, the next piece, picture the joint flipped upside down, the tenon to the piece going into it's going to fit into there, and then your open mortise is going to go there. Alright guys, so there you have our other style of scarf joint. That one was super easy to cut. I'll tell you what, that took me about 2.5 hours to cut that joint, and really easy to do. You don't have any undersquints to worry about lining up. It's a straightforward It's just a pretty much a fancy half lap scarf joint with, forgive me guys, and I know Jim's going to have my ass when he watches this. I will look the terminology up and post it for you guys so that you can see what it is, and then you can do some more research on the joint. Now, anyhow, you can't, I don't recommend that joint for a tie beam or something like that that's going to be in heavy tension, but that joint should not really have any tension on it, so we should be good there. When I saw it used down in Schulerville in New York at a Timber Frame Guild event, I thought that's the one I need right there, because I'd been struggling. How the hell am I going to line up 4 of those things, get them all to meet up at the same time, slide together, and drop down on the braces in the stub tenons for the top plates on top of the post. So this guy right here really solves my issues for me perfectly. It was a 10 by 10 that they had used it on. I copied the dimensions that they had. The only difference between mine and theirs, the engineer on that project wanted a wall post to go right up in the middle of that scarf joint, which was kind of surprising because generally that's a no-no. When you put a scarf joint in, generally speaking, you want your post to one side of that. You don't want it in the center of that scarf joint, because if that post heaves, it's going to heave against the scarf joint and put a lot of stress on that joint. You don't want that. So we're going to avoid that here as well. The post is not going to be under that scarf joint, but there will be a brace that comes up, and that's going to be under the scarf joint towards the end. Probably a little too close to the end, but by the time I slide the next piece into it, it'll have plenty of meat to engage against, so I don't have to worry about it splitting out on me. And that's going to be the first top plates on the northeast side and the northwest side. They're going to be the only ones like that. So anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like what you're seeing, like, subscribe, share. That helps the channel out. So appreciate it, guys, and you guys have a good evening.